Good morning. Today we're going to be working with measures of central tendency. This is basically data analysis where we look at information that we collect and we come up with pieces of information based on that data. Today we're going to be working with finding the mean, the median, and the mode. And then you'll be on to Yakapaka and you'll be doing some practice materials for both class as well as the Arizona Ames test. So first thing we need to really know, well, even before we begin with that, make sure you have your notebook out and some scratch paper. Take notes during the video. That way you're ready to do the questions when you see it on the quiz or on the practice. But the first thing we really need to remember and know is what do the words mean? So we'll look at the vocabulary of mean. Mean is a set of data. It could be numbers. So you might have 5 numbers. The first thing you have to do is add up all 5 of those numbers. And if it comes up to the number 30, terrific. Then we know we have 5 numbers because we're going to count them. And we're going to put 5 goes into 30 6 times. That would be our average. That would be our mean. Average and mean are the same word. Think about your grades. Mode, that's pretty easy. We just look at whatever the data set has. It could be colors, it could be types of pizza toppings, and it could be numbers. Whichever shows up the most, that's the mode. Median, that's what's in the middle. And most times it's usually typically numbers. But don't just look at the numbers. The first thing you have to do is you have to rewrite the set, and you have to rewrite it from least to greatest. And sometimes there could be 2 numbers left over in the middle. That's okay. If there are 2 numbers in the middle, we're going to add those 2 numbers up, divide it by 2, and that will give us the middle number for the whole entire data set. So let's go on to some examples, and we'll probably see all of that right now. So again, mean, mode, median. Well, here we have our first set, and let me get the pen ready. And we're going to have to add these numbers up. We're going to have 38. We're going to have 42. We have the number 47. We have the number 36. And we have the number 37. 37. Now this could be the nighttime temperatures, for example, here in Tucson. And we want to find out what the average temperature was for the week, Monday through Friday, because there's only 5 numbers here. So if we add this all up, 10, 17, 23, 30, carry a 3, 3, 6, 10, 14, 17, 20. Our total is 200. Well, now we have to see how many numbers we had. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in the set. So we're going to divide 5 into 200. 5 does not go into the 2, so we're going to leave that blank. Move over. 5 goes into 20 4 times. Now be careful. This is a lot of times where we make some mistakes. We say, oh, we're done. No, you still have this 0 to bring down. When we subtract the 20 from 20, we get 0, and we still have to bring down this 0 because we cannot leave this spot blank. 5 goes into 0, 0 times. So in this example, if it was for the nighttime temperatures on Monday to Friday in Tucson, it might have been 40 degrees on average, or the mean. When we look for the mode, that's the number that's going to be in the middle. But before we find that, we have to rewrite it like we talked about from least to greatest. So let's look at some of these numbers. I'm sorry, we're working with mode. Let's back up. We're just looking at mode. We can just look to see what's actually coming in here the most. Now, I'm going to actually do it a little bit longer way. I'm going to find the smallest number. Well, that's the 3. I've got 1. I've got 2 3s. Let's see, now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 4s. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3 5s. The reason I'm doing this is because it's making sure I'm looking for every number and I haven't skipped anything. I've got a 6 and I've got a 7. It is a little bit longer, but I've just made sure I've accounted for all the numbers. You can see I've marked them off with those little dots. And the set that shows up the most, well, 4 is my mode. It shows up the most. The median, this is the one where we have to rewrite it. So here we go. We have these numbers right now in random order. We have to put them from least to greatest. So it looks like 7 is my smallest. I've got another 7 here. We've got an 8. It is good practice to mark them off like I'm doing here with the little dots. I've got a 10, because if you skip a number, it's going to change the outcome of the median. I've got an 11, and I've got a 13, and I've got a 20. Now what I want to do is I want to go through this, and I actually want to cross off each number, starting with the lowest and then out to the highest, and work my way into the middle. So we'll cross out the 7, we'll cross out the 20, we'll cross out the 7, we'll cross out the 13, cross out the 8, cross out the 11, and what's left in the middle is the number 10. On this data set, 10 is my median. Now here's a little hint I want to show you. If you count all the numbers that are in the set, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had 7 numbers. That's odd. If it's an odd number of digits in the data set, there's only going to be one number in the middle. That's why we had no problem here with the finding out that the median was the number 10. It was the only number in the middle. Let's look at this next problem. On this next problem, we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's even. We're going to end up, after we rewrite this from least to greatest, we're going to have two numbers in the middle. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. So we have the number 2, mark it off. We have the number 4. We have the number 6. We have the number 8. We have the number 11. And we have the number 15. So again, let's go back just like we did in the previous example, and starting from the smallest to the greatest, let's work our way down into the middle. Cross out the 2, cross out the 15, cross out the 4, cross out the 11, and yeah, we do have two numbers in the middle. We have the number 6, and we have the number 8. We are going to add those together. That's going to equal 14. Well, now we're going to divide 2, because there are two numbers left over, and we're going to put 2 into 14. Pretty simple division. 2 doesn't go into the 1, but 2 goes into 14 7 times. And here is my medium for this data set. So that pretty much takes us through all three types of problems we would see. We have the mean, the mode, and the median. So go ahead and look at your notes. Use your scratch paper. Be real careful with your adding and your divisions when you have to do them, because that can have a big impact on whether or not you have the correct answer. So that's mean, median, mode. Now you're going to go out to Yakapaka. You're going to practice a test. Again, you want to try to get a grade or a goal of 80%. So you want to have a mean of 80 for all your attempts at that work. At least an 80, maybe even higher. So good luck with that. If you have any questions, ask when you come back to class.